this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here with some of my little printables here. The ones that I kind of use when I'm making printables, if that makes sense. So they're kind of like, not necessarily misprints, but, you know, they might be kind of, you know, printables that I don't end up using, or, you know, they've got kind of rough things printed on the back, things like that. And I thought, let's just come along and make some decorative little strips using them, just so that they're kind of like off of my desk and kind of out of the way. So I've got those. I've got some book page as well. So we may mix them with some book page. And then what I've got here are some little decorative pieces that we could top them with. So I've got some here. These are from my Victorian, I think this is the Victorian Gallery, but I could be wrong. It could be the Victorian Springtime Kit. And these are from my Perfect Pockets set 8, I think it is. So I've got those. And I thought, yeah, we'll just kind of make some decorative strips. Now, I've also got some little bits of lace that I thought we could kind of couple these with as well. So we're going to make just small ones here. So I'm just going to start by just tearing some of these bits down into kind of usable portions. So just kind of tearing them down. Now, I really don't want these to be too big. I want to kind of make them sort of smallish pieces. So just tear them down. You know, and this is a brilliant scrap busting, you know, exercise. So if, like me, you know, you end up with kind of like a bunch of, you know, sometimes like your printer might be running out and things like that. And so you've got like, you know, odds and pieces that, you know, then they're not the right colour to the rest of the kit. Or maybe you've printed them on the wrong paper. Or, you know, like me, you might have paper with something on the reverse that you've kind of left in there by mistake. You know, things like that. These are just a brilliant way to use up some of those kinds of bits, really. So just tear them down like that, okay? So, yeah. Now, these ones here, these are hopefully from my William Morris collection. But like I say, these are from when I was kind of creating the papers. So I don't know whether these are, you know, definitely how that collection actually finished up, if you see what I mean. You know, but yeah, these were definitely, you know, some of the ones that I was kind of like debating using. So whether or not they actually kind of like went ahead and made it to the final collection, I'm not sure at this point. Because actually at this point, I haven't even finalised, you know, what did make it to the final collection. So yeah, it might be that these did, it might be that they didn't, but aren't these gorgeous? I mean, they're in this beautiful duck egg colour. I've also got this one in duck egg, and I've got this one in a kind of mauvey type colour, but I'm probably being way over ambitious thinking we're going to get through so many. So I'm just going to lay these out. I mean, obviously I've got quite a lot here just to be, you know, getting started with. So yeah, it's probably very doubtful that I'm going to get through even, you know, half of these, but we'll see. We might, you know, I might do better than I'm expecting. So just going to layer them up like this with some book page. Now I'm just going to put the book page on sideways on, if, you know, if that's kind of how it ends up, if you see what I mean. So, you know, there might be some that I would have right way up and some sideways on. You know, again, not really kind of too bothered how it ends up. So that one, just take down like that. And then we can obviously, oops, kind of pop it on like that. Okay, like that. And that one. Like that. Okay. So brilliant use for obviously like, you know, scraps of book page and things like that as well. You know, if you've got kind of smaller pieces, you can obviously just quite easily incorporate those. So, you know, they're a good kind of scrap buster, to be honest. I mean, these are actually more clusterish rather than, you know, decorative edge strips, to be honest, because they're so tiny. So yeah, maybe I will remove these because they're not really looking like a decorative edge strip. They're looking much more clustery, aren't they? So yeah. Okie dokie. Right. So yep, they look good, don't they? And then let's pull in our pieces. And the other thing that I did bring along actually was I've got these. Now these are from my Victorian Beauties, you know, background papers. And I just thought actually some of these would look really, really, really pretty on some of these clusters. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it down in the first instance so that I can then get to it a bit easier. So now I've misplaced my scissors. Oh, there they are. So all I'm going to do is cut this down here first of all, so that I can get to them a bit better. So like that. Okay. I have to say I haven't really played with these papers much, and actually I'm gutted because looking at these are really, really, really pretty. So yeah, I might have to do a journal or something using these, I'm not sure. But they're very, very, very gorgeous, aren't they? I mean, how could they not be? These pretty girls, you know, they're lovely. So, right. Just take this. Now, I do like a torn piece. So, yeah, just going to kind of use the torn bits there. I mean, isn't she lovely on that paper? She looks really pretty, doesn't she? Okay, I've got this one. Okie dokie, so maybe her on there. I mean, actually, aren't they just looking gorgeous on here? Yeah, I'm glad that I suddenly spotted these and remembered these, because to be honest, these look really pretty on these papers. And they nearly got overlooked because I nearly used those other pieces, but I think these look really lovely actually on here. So yeah, it was lucky that I spotted these at the last minute, because I nearly honestly forgot. So yeah, I mean, don't they look gorgeous? Now I've got this beautiful one here with this little girl, and she's obviously got these touches of pink, which just will add a different look to this. So yeah, let's get her down on here. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? I absolutely love how that looks. Really, really, really pretty. So I might keep these for another time, and let's just see whether I've got any other bits. I have made these way too small, haven't I? I don't know what was going on. Didn't really think. And now these are quite clustery looking, aren't they? So let's put those to one side, and just going to bring in some of this, you know, the more mauvey coloured one. And I'm going to try and make these a bit longer. So I'm actually going with what my original plan was, which was to obviously have decorative edge strips, not clusters, but decorative edge strips. So yeah, let's see. Oh, obviously mucking this up a bit, but I'm so sorry if you can hear my smoke alarm out on the landing. Yeah, it's been bleeping for a few days now. I don't know quite why it's bleeping. You know, I know I've talked about this in a different video, which will probably be months ago now, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always thought that they bleep because they need the battery changing. I did kind of take the, you know, the thing off of it, but actually it's wired in, which I can remember now because it was one that the firemen, you know, the fire station kind of like came and put in. So I don't know quite now why it's bleeping. I don't know, you know, what do you do with them if they're wired in? Well, you know, why is it bleeping? I don't know really what would need changing in it. So yeah, I've just had to put the lid back on it and leave it bleeping. I mean, I'm not saying that's a good solution or, you know, a permanent solution, but I don't really know what else to do. So I'll have to Google and see, you know, what do you do? Why is it bleeping still? Because yeah, I have no idea why it's still bleeping, but it is annoying, and it's annoying me if it's any consolation too. So yeah, I do apologise because it's pretty irritating. Right, let's just take this. So it's quite nice actually that I mucked up those other two, because now we've obviously got some pink ones as well. So, you know, instead of it all being kind of the same colours, so we've just mixed it up a little bit, which is a bit more interesting, isn't it? So yeah, right, let's take a couple of these bits. So just cut this one down. Yeah, I think this is the Victorian springtime, but I printed these on, I recently got a, oh gosh, what do you call it? Oh, what's the name? An Eco Tank printer. I've only had it for about 10 days so far, and I'm trying to decide whether I even want to keep it, because you can probably see by these, things come out very, very, very dark on it, and, you know, not very bright. But unfortunately, it doesn't really have an option to kind of change the quality of print or anything else. It just says printing standard, and that's kind of your only option that you get, is just standard. You know, you don't get like best or, you know, draft quality or anything like that. It's just standard quality, so you can't really therefore kind of change the not proportions, but you know, the oh, what's the word, like the ratio of colour. So yeah, I'm not sure really whether I'm that happy with it, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of weighing up whether I'm going to keep it or not. But I mean, it is handy to have a printer that I don't have to keep refilling with ink. That's, you know, that is great. But, you know, if it's not kind of like giving me great colours, then maybe it's not so brilliant. Or maybe I'll swap those like that. Yeah, they look really lovely, don't they? Just wondering whether I want to swap this one, because I did quite like her on the blue. I'm not so sure I like her on there actually, so I'll just take her off, and should we try this one? Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's brilliant to not have to keep on changing the ink. Obviously that is a great bonus, but you know, they are definitely quite dark looking prints, aren't they? Which, you know, not so keen on that, but anyway, we shall see. Right, so I'm just going to literally put some lace kind of like down behind my little pieces that I'm putting on. So for instance here, just going to take this now. Just want to make sure I'm putting the right bits with the right lace, because I might, you know, might change my mind. So right, might have that one with that lace actually. So yeah, let's put this down. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to glue these together, and then I will take these to the sewing machine. So I'm going to just put them kind of like together here, and then we'll take them to the sewing machine, you know, and put like a stitch through them. Yeah, maybe like that. So okay, so it doesn't have to be held down, you know, particularly, because obviously I'm going to stitch through this as well, but just for the moment we will put these on like this. Oh dear, I need that over there a bit more. Oops, like that. Okay, it's really pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, love how that one looks. Okay, yep, really nice. Put that to one side. Right, let's do this one. Okie dokie. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Maybe you are doing some crafting. Hope you're having a nice time. Just going to put these bits on here, and then I'll do the lace, I think, in a minute. So just kind of pop these bits down, and then they're prepped and ready. Then I can play around with which lace I want in a moment. So yeah, like that. Yeah, the sun is shining here. It's a nice day, although I have to say it did go in just a minute ago and it looked a bit like it was going to rain. It seems to have come back out now, so fingers crossed it's still looking bright and nice at the moment. It's quite chilly. And I know I say this all the time, but I'm filming ahead. So if it's, you know, glorious sunshine now, if it's the summer, it could well be the summer, but it wasn't when I was filming. It was still the winter. So yeah, who knows what it will be by the time that this video goes up. But what was I doing with her? Had I taken her off? I can't remember now what I was doing. Did I take her off? I feel like I did. But what did I put down in place? Oh, I don't know now. Oh dear, right. It doesn't take long, does it, for me to forget what I was doing? Right. Now, I have got this blue lace, which this may be too big and maybe too blue. Was I having this on this? Oh, maybe I was. Maybe it was the other piece that I took off, the other girl. Yeah, I think it was. Right, okay. I've got this. Now, this is some dyed lace, which is a sort of, you know, greyish kind of colour now. But, I mean, I quite like it. So, let's just take that and see how that would look. That's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. Right, let's just put that down. Okay. Like that. And like I say, I will be taking these to the sewing machine. So, you know, they're going to have a stitch through somewhere. Not sure where the stitch will go, but they will have a stitch through somewhere. So, yeah, they're going to actually kind of look a bit different to this. Well, I mean, they might not look much different, but they will look a little bit different from this. So this one, this is quite a pretty colour lace, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what colour I would call it really. And I can't remember what I dyed this with. It may have been food coloured. But it looks pretty, doesn't it? It's got a kind of shabby chic-ish kind of finish to it. So, yeah, quite like it. So just put that there. And then this one. Okey-dokey. Okay. Yeah, they look very pretty, don't they? And to be honest, it's weird, but when you do then the stitching really changes the look of these quite a lot, to be honest. So, you know, if you're kind of thinking, oh, they don't really look great at the moment. I mean, who knows? They might not look great after the stitching, but hopefully the stitching does kind of like alter them quite a bit, you know, and they will then kind of come into their own, you know, a bit more. So we'll just, yeah. Oops. Hopefully you'll see that, you know, when we do stitch them in a minute. Oops. Okey-dokey. I've got now a thread stuck on me. Right. And take this one. Oh my goodness. And these are just another one of those things that are just so dead handy to have in your stash. You know, because you could use these on a page, you could use them on a tag, you could use them, you know, wherever you like, really. I mean, they're very much like a cluster, aren't they? You know, very, very similar. But just so versatile in their kind of, you know, uses. Or, you know, the way that you can use them anyway. So I just love having a bunch of these types of things ready to hand. Now, which colour lace shall we use? Oh gosh, there goes that smoke alarm again. So sorry. Okay. Okey-dokey. Whoops. Take that there. Okay. And I know we talk about this all the time, but honestly, I can't say enough just how handy it is having like ready-made things. You know, when I first started making journals, I mean, I didn't have obviously anything ready-made. I mean, like, you know, none of us do we? And I would watch kind of, you know, other junk journals, and I would feel literally like ephemera envy ephemera envy, you know, thinking, oh gosh, you know, I'd love to have all that ephemera ready made. And, you know, I would feel in awe and think, oh my goodness, how do you ever get to that point where you've got all that stuff ready done? I mean, actually, once you start making things, you know, a lot, and start making things like in bulk, you know, like we do in the mass making and things. I mean, to be fair, it's actually quite surprising how quickly your stash will build up, you know, to the point that, you know, before you know it, you'll actually have a ton of ephemera ready. But yeah, I can remember kind of, you know, for the longest time kind of thinking, oh gosh, I wish I had loads of things to use, you know. But it does feel great when you do have a bunch of things to use, because, you know, it kind of just makes making a journal so much quicker and easier, you know, than obviously having to make everything from scratch. Which, you know, not only obviously is that time consuming, but actually it can be quite off-putting. You know, if you've got to make every single thing from scratch, it can almost, yeah, put you off doing the process, because you think, oh my goodness, that journal's never going to come together. You know, where actually, if you've got a lot of things kind of ready, oh, I'm just deciding which one to use, you know, then it can sort of take the pain out, and then it just seems so quick that actually then it's not really a big deal making the journal anyway. But that was another thing that I did find, was when I first started making journals, you know, that it would take so long to make every little piece that it did almost like put me off, you know, because I think, oh gosh, you know, can I be bothered? Like, that's going to take forever to complete that journal, to make that journal, to, you know, to fill that journal. You know, that it did then kind of almost, yeah, put me off kind of doing it. But when you've got a few things ready made, and I do, you know, literally only mean a few, you know, it will come together so much quicker, you know, that it will then no longer seem a daunting process. You know, it won't be off-putting, because it will be like, oh, well, actually, you know, very quickly the journal can be pulled together. So yeah, it's really worth having a ton of stuff, you know, ready and made. So let's just take this one. Okay, right, so just kind of using up like the last few bits that I've got sat here. Okay, just use this one. Okie dokie, and then yeah, I'm just going to finish off this piece, so just use this last bit here. I mean, I'm just using this, you know, because I'd kind of already torn into these, but actually, unfortunately, I did have this duck egg, which, to be fair, wouldn't that have looked beautiful with that beige? Yeah, I might have to come back and do some more with the duck egg and the beigey colours, but anyway. Well, I mean, I say that, I probably will never remember to do that anyway, to be honest. But yeah, you know, seeing it there, I think, oh, must come back and do that. Reality is I probably will never remember to do that. So, right, just having a look to see whether I've got any bits to use. Could take this one. It's quite nice, isn't it? Okay. Okey-dokey. Yeah, it's quite cold actually now, to be honest. You know, I mean, even in the house, I mean, it was very cold outside today, but it's really getting quite cold in the house now. Feeling quite chilly. So I shall have to put my little fan heater on, I think. So, yeah. Okie dokie. And again, you know, these are those kinds of frames which look very daunting to cut out. But I know I'm always saying this. Don't be put off things like this because, you know, like we always say, actually, I mean, I always find cutting out, like, say, a circle far worse than cutting out something like this because, nobody really knows how this frame looked. So, you know, I mean, I've cut some of the bits off of this frame, you know, and things like that. I've left some white bits on, but we're covering it up with the ink. It's actually far less daunting than cutting out a circle, which of course then everybody knows if you've made a mistake cutting the circle out, don't they? You know, there's no coming back from that, is there? If you've cut a, you know, miscut a circle, everyone's going to spot that. So, you know, don't be kind of put off, obviously, if you're faced with, you know, like what look like, you know, mad shaped bits or intricate shaped bits, you know, things that you think, oh gosh, that's going to take forever to cut that out. Actually, I just think they're actually, you know, far less daunting and far easier than cutting out a circle. And I know I've said that loads of times, but, you know, that honestly I think is true. You know, a circle or an oval or something, you know, they're my world's worst thing to cut out because they just need to be so precise. You know, if you muck those up, everybody knows you've mucked them up. They look, you know, very obviously mucked up, don't they? Whereas things like this, they're not going to look very obvious at all. You know, nobody really knows what this looked like in the first place. So, yeah, don't kind of be put off when cutting things like this out. So, there we go. Oh my goodness. I mean, doesn't that look gorgeous? You know, and that's just literally a few scraps, a little bit of scrap lace, and, you know, that's all that is. Okie dokie. I mean, this is just such a fun type of project to do. It's right up my street, you know, comes together super quickly. It's kind of like one of those big results kind of project where, you know, it's taking no time at all, no thought, you know, not much effort really, but you get big results because very quickly you've made a whole bunch of stuff, which, I mean, who doesn't love things like that, to be honest? You know, my favourite types of projects are quick results projects. Okay, right, now I just need to find a couple of centerpieces to go on these. I have got some more of the, you know, Victorian Beauty pieces which we could use. Could use her. Let's just tear her down. I've been hoarding this piece of paper. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Honestly, I mean, it's a printable. You know, it's even one of my own printables. But, yeah, I've been hoarding it. I don't know why. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, the things that, you know, I find myself hoarding. Oh, my goodness. I mean, how gorgeous does she look on that? She looks beautiful, doesn't she, on there? Right. Let's just check which colour lace that I want on her. I mean, that's quite nice. It's quite a contrast, isn't it? Which is quite lovely. Or we could have this one, which is that kind of food coloured one, which has got quite a grey type tone. But, you know, it looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And, you know, this has got sort of greyish kind of tones to it. It's like a sepia colour, but with some colour to it. Oh, yeah, that just instantly looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Yep. Right, let's pop that one down. Okay. Oh my goodness. She is beautiful on there, isn't she? I have to say, I feel like she would look really lovely on a card, actually. Yeah. I don't know why, but for some reason I just picture her like on a really pretty birthday card or something. She's just got that kind of quality to her. Absolutely love it. Really, really, really pretty. So, yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, what about this piece for this? That would look very, very nice. Don't know whether this one would look very good or not, to be honest. I mean, obviously it's quite green and, well, it is green and pink. I don't know why I'm saying it's quite green and pink. It is predominantly green and pink shades. Might not really look great, but let's give it a try. And then I have got this pink butterfly, which, yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, let's let's have a look, shall we? So, right, let's just cut this out. So this is exactly what I was talking about with the ovals, where of course everyone's going to see when I've made a horrible job of this one. There'll be no coming back from this, no hiding it whatsoever. Okay, oh my goodness me. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I love that on there, I must say. That's gorgeous, isn't it? So let's have a look with this, the food coloured lace, because I think that would look nice. Oh my goodness, how lovely is that? I love it. I'm just going to try this side round this time. Just because every single time I've used it, for some reason, I've put it on the right. And I know I've talked about this before, but I think it's because I'm right-handed. But I'm just always kind of like led to put things on the right. And it's just weird, isn't it? But yeah, I think I do prefer it on the right. But I don't know why that is. I don't know whether it's because it looks better on the right or whether it's because I'm just, you know, kind of like preconditioned to put things on the right, if I'm truthful. I think it might just be that. Let me know. Do you think it actually looks better on the right, or do you think I'm just preconditioned to put things on the right? No idea. No idea. Oh gosh, I have to glue now all over that. Oh. Right. Oh, that's so annoying. Just having a look to see. I've got some tissue behind my desk. Yeah. Just take this in and just kind of mop that glue up a little bit. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Not sure how this one's going to look because I think actually it's probably not really the right colours, but we'll see. It might look okay. Oh, I'm getting chillier and chillier, I have to say. Yeah, feel quite chilly now. Okay. Just try that one. Oops. It's okay. I mean, I don't feel like that's really kind of like bringing out the best in each other, if you know what I mean. I mean, it looks all right. I feel like it would look okay. It would work okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I'm really getting the best out of it, but, you know, I'm just trying to do this quite quickly. So I'm, you know, going to put it down anyway because I don't want to sit here overthinking. I just want to make these very quickly, you know, to demonstrate how quickly we can use some of these things. So, of course, if I then, you know, start thinking about it endlessly, I'm not really doing it quickly at all. I'm in fact then taking forever. Right, let's just glue that down. Oh, I do actually really love that now, weirdly enough. Yeah, I've done a full U-turn now. Gone from kind of thinking, oh, it doesn't really bring out the best in it, to being like, well, actually it looks quite lovely now. Right, let's just take this butterfly. Okay. Okey-dokey. I mean, that's not all that big on there. I think that's kind of where I'm having a bit of an issue with that, is because it's not particularly big. You know, it maybe looks a little bit lost. What do we think? Yeah, I think it could look better if it was bigger. Now I've got some other bits here, just from something else. About her. These are from one of my other Perfect Pocket kits, and yeah, I'm just wondering whether maybe some of these might look better. I mean, maybe that even. Let me try that with this lace. Okay. because I actually used up the whole of that bit of lace, would you believe? So yeah, that was kind of good, wasn't it? You know, I've actually used something up and got it off of my desk, which, wow, what a brilliant result, you know. Not often that we do that, is it? I'm just going to ink this up and just see whether inked up this one would look better. Yeah, quite like that actually. So right, let's do that. So just pop the lace down, okay, like that, and then we'll just pop this one down. Okay, right, okay, so we have done that super quick, haven't we? And you know, we've used a whole bunch of stuff. I've used an entire piece of lace which was about that long, like wow. Oh, it's gone from my desk. Yep. So what a victory. And I've used, you know, several scraps of paper, which is awesome. Now I'm going to take them to the sewing machine and just do some zigzag stitching down them. And I will do it in probably black thread so as it shows up really, really nicely. You know, could do it in white, but I think the black would look really good. So I'm just going to quickly do that and then I'll come back and show you how they look. So hold on. Right, so this is them now from the sewing machine. So, I mean, they look really different, I think, you know, from just that little row of stitching, that really does transform them. And again, it's one of those scenarios where I wish I had a before and after to be able to show you, you know, how different that they look, because it's so weird. Just that, you know, tiny thing, i.e. just that little bit of zigzag stitching, the massive difference that that makes, you know, I think anyway. You know, but it just takes them completely to a different kind of level and just makes them look so different to without the stitching, I think. You know, maybe you don't agree, but yeah, I really think it makes a massive difference. And then, of course, you know, you could decorate them further. So, you know, you could always kind of enhance them with, for instance, if you've got some little bows, I'm just going to pull in maybe one or two of the bows that we've got from our mass making sessions. You know, you could maybe put a little bow on there or something like that. You know, I mean, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Admittedly, I'm covering up the stitching, but, you know, that looks quite pretty. Or, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that that is necessarily the right bow for that, but, you know, very, very, very easily, you could just transform them further by just adding like a little bow or, you know, something like that, or maybe some bling, or, you know, something just very small. I mean, doesn't that look very pretty on there? And then that just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? And then, of course, you know, you could use them on, say, you know, I've got here some fabric tag bases from something else that we were doing. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that this is right for this project, but, you know, like that. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? And literally, that's just that cluster, a bow and the fabric tag base. Now, it's, you know, it's not even something that really goes on that particular base, but it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? I mean, that maybe kind of goes a bit better, but, you know, hopefully kind of you've got the kind of gist. I'm not necessarily needing to show you them all, although now it's quite addictive. I'm kind of like hooked now on trying them on all different ones, but, you know, just very quickly and easily, they just look gorgeous, don't they? And, you know, obviously they're not necessarily the right kind of bases, but, you know, you could use them on anything. So I'm just having a look beside me to see if I've got anything else. I've got a few things here from like our mass making sessions and things like that. So, you know, I mean, this is one of those pockets. So, I mean, definitely, again, not the right thing, but if, for instance, I had, you know, something, a pocket, for instance, or a tag in this, you know, damask paper, how scrumptious does that look? I absolutely love how that looks. So pretty. And, you know, hardly any effort has gone into making that whatsoever. So just scrumptious little pieces, aren't they? And, you know, like I say, transformed further with the addition of, you know, for instance, bows or bling, or, you know, actually I've got these wax seals beside me. You could maybe put like a wax seal or something like that on there. Not necessarily saying on that one because that feels a bit strange as it's oval and round, but, you know, for instance, that one, maybe it would look better. you know, that kind of thing. They're just, you know, transform your pieces very quickly and easily. I mean, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? You know, and actually, weirdly, everything goes brilliantly on this damask paper, doesn't it? It's looking really, really pretty. So, yeah, I really hope that you like them. And perhaps we'll come back and have a play and do some bits with these. Because, yeah, they just have turned out just so scrumptious, haven't they? So, yeah, I'd quite like to come back and use them somewhere or on some things, I think. So, yeah, hope that you like them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you feel inspired to get some of your scraps out and just make some little decorative pieces, just including some little topper pieces on them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.